fellow Ambazonians. Today is a special day, and I was thinking about the draft. So I said, let me bring up some points that have, me being part of the drafting management and the being part of the the organization and everything. I say it would be wise so that bring some points that make me think that the draft was a very successful one. And I said, okay, I'm going to come out with these points, which are very important. First of all, I want to thank the IG. I want to thank the draft committees. I want to thank most of those who took part in this organization of the draft. And I want to thank the resource and mobilization committees. They were working behind the scenes. They were doing all the cold callings. They were doing everything. They had all the integrity. Working. They had all the skills of a salesman to succeed, and being part of those, of the team, for not only my county but other counties. I experienced a lot of very high motivation. People who love to work. They have a high energy. They were there to work. They were there to deliver for the Ambazonian people. Everybody, they just have concern for the Ambazonian people. They have concern for the struggle. They had that ability to motivate Ambazonia, to motivate those people to donate. That was the spirit. I saw Ambazonians who are dedicated to the struggle. I work with people who are there working. That is, if you're not inside, like one of those committees or working in that kind of project, you won't understand how people are working behind the scenes. So you are outside and you're just talking about, oh, the draft is this, or the draft is not moving, or the draft it was a bad idea, or we cannot keep living in the past. This is a struggle. This is a revolution. People have to pass through different failures, then you succeed. There's no person that always just succeed without failures, because it's through failures that you learn to succeed. You see, so the past help us to succeed, by giving us all those ideas, that perseverance, the high energy that we had, and all those, that idea. This draft came in, and most of us were thinking that, it will be like just, because there was a target. But of a sudden we realized that the commitment of the Ambazonians, the commitment of those people who are doing the job, how it satisfied the stakeholders, in the whole thing. You see, that was what made us know that the deliverance of this war draft was a success. It never came as a surprise, because most of the members were dedicated, and when you're doing something for the love of the struggle, nobody is being paid. Everybody is a volunteer in this thing. Then you see that thing is succeeding, you see. So that was the passion that I saw among these members of the counties, members of the LGAs, who are just putting their time. Some will leave work to have to come, and they don't care. They are working for the Amazonian people. That is what is most important. They are there, tooth and nail, making sure that things work for the good of the Ambazonian people. And if we have that kind of motivation, that kind of spirit, then I don't see us, I see us the shortest time soon to be in Boya. Because the spirit that we had in this draft, that I saw how our people are working, if we have that same of, impeccable integrity, in that kind of concern for the people, then I think that Boya is close. Yes, Boya is very, very close. I want to thank everybody who was there. I want to thank those people who gave in their monies, who are there to make sure that they fulfill their pledges and make this thing work. So it is all about what makes the drafts succeed. You people were there. The desired outcome is most important. What were the goals that were set forth, and how the achievement was made? That is what makes the draft successful. It happens that the success came because of this draft. Now the amount of money that has been raised and those pledges and everything, it was just like a shocker to the world, not only to La Republic, so it gives that kind of aspect of that high quality kind of project that has been carried out by the interim government. And if anyone can tell me that this thing has not accomplished something, then I will tell you that you are lying. Yes, because we saw that kind of high quality and working relationship among the county and the LGAs, because most of the members of the counties and the LGAs did not know each other. I'm telling you, even just the counties, at the county level, most of the members did not know each other. But during this draft, you saw people coming together, you saw people having meetings together, you saw that kind of collaboration, so it gave the interim government that presence of working together. It gave interim government that legitimacy. So that was one very important point, that happened to work with that kind of because we are in a revolution, and when you have that kind of aspect that brings people together and make them work as a team, it gives team spirit, and that is what made people know that, oh, this thing is it's a good aspect. And for most of its part, there was that kind of visibility, there was that kind of understanding. I want to put these points that our brother gave, in his write-up, brother Don Wanobi. He gave 14 points about the achievement of this draft, and I want to elaborate on them. So the first point, he talked about legitimacy. How has the war draft achieved legitimacy to the interim government and to the international community? So he writes that the Amber War Draft added an international dimension to the voices of the people. An international dimension to the voices of the people. And if you look at the international dimension, what does that mean? The international dimension means that the Amber Revolution was trying to stray away from the international community, and they were seeing some loopholes, they were seeing this disagreement, they were seeing this kind of groupings not being together, and the people were tired, because of the last conflicts that happened, and they were that what we call the donor fatigue, all those things, it made the international community start to lack legitimacy to the struggle. But the Amber War Draft added that international dimension, to the voices of the people. And if ever the revolution was lacking in legitimacy of authority and its political foundation, that's when we know that due to enemy propaganda and activities of traitors, the Amber War Draft made it certain that the revolution's authority is traceable to the conscience and will of the people. So, from that aspect, we saw that even though there were these kind of people trying to distract, they called some are traitors, they have this kind of different activities from some they call themselves black legs, they were this kind of, they say they want to use the cyber bullies, they will use Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, but we see how the revolution's authority came in here to figure out how to gain the conscience of the people. And that is what happened, because you see that even though the people are silent, they are watching, and they have that mind to make sure that the struggle succeeds. Yes, very important. Leadership mandate. That aspect of leadership mandate, what gave leadership mandate? Mr. Don Wanabe writes, if commanding the loyalty of the Ambazonian Restoration Forces was not good enough to prove that the interim government leadership of Comrade Samuel Sako is the custodian of the will of the people, and if by exercising the authority to legitimize French Cameroon's pro-consul through ghost towns and lockdown was not testament of the people's resolve behind the interim leadership, then the Amber War Draft provided political certainty and clarity on the subject. You see, the leadership mandate. Because even before the war draft, you had these people who said, oh, they don't want government, oh, they don't want this. But when we saw the move, the wave that this war draft brought, that is how the interim government, the population rallied behind the interim government. That's where the leadership mandate came in. And I will tell you that, even the French Cameroon government, they were shaking because of this war draft. And they, of course, they saw, they were trying to bring that divide and rule, but they realized that it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. And finally, they had to back out. Yes. The third point that Mr. Wanabe wrote was the conflict timeline. He said, having quickly and complacently embraced the prospects of the revolution's defeat in peace offerings and reconstruction agenda, the colluding UN authorities were forced to reset the conflict timeline on the apprehension and outcome of Amber War Draft. In fact, on one of the president's direct engagement with the UN authorities during the Amber War Draft, the diplomat lamented and lambasted his very organization for sickening abuse of privilege and betrayal. You see, so this war draft gave an impetus to the struggle. You see, the international community had to start watching. I can tell you that the United Nations have been calling the interim government, calling them to ask what is going on, if they can help, you see, just because of the draft. You see, so when we look at the dimension of or the importance of this draft, it's not just about a little thing that people are looking. It has a broad range of advantage that it brought to the struggle. Yes. The number 4 point, recalibration of diplomatic engagement. He writes that it's not to be doubted that the international community was walking away from her commitment to dialogue without preconditions. They did not just go silent about, their betrayal intentions, but avoided direct and public contact with the revolution's leadership while echoing the domestic utterances of the French Cameroon regime. However, as soon as the war draft began, the same international diplomatic contacts not only opened their private lines, but placed their services at the behest of the interim government leadership. The Amber War Draft has recalibrated diplomatic engagement at all fronts and all levels of consequence. That is true. The diplomats, the international community had closed their line to avoid any direct contact before. But during the war draft and after this war draft, you see now they said, hey, this is the legitimate government and they have to work with this government or they can't achieve anything. Yes, they can't achieve anything because the fighters, our self-volunteer forces are there, they are working, and if you don't tell them what to do, they won't do anything. Yes, so that is what the United Nations realized, because they wanted to go and be doing reconstruction. You see, reconstructing when the war is still ongoing made no sense. Yes, they have to resolve the crisis. You cannot keep people in refugee camps. People are in jail. You say you want to go and do reconstruction. What kind of reconstruction are these people trying to do? What? It cannot work. The number 5 point is the national treasury. He writes, the survival of any political institution is chiefly the size and the solvency of its sovereign purse. Having a steady stream of revenue is crucial for vital survival operations and sustenance of vast and complicated revolutionary networks. The Amber War Draft has answered questions of survivability and sustainability for a revolution that had little oxygen of hope left in her fragile lungs. I like that word, survivability and sustainability. You see, so that is what this war draft was about. It brought in that survivability and sustainability. But people did not understand. You see, the war draft has so many benefits now. Just look at the first 4 points that I wrote, that I read. You see that it brought a lot of things. Not only that, you see, it has not even, from the first 4 points, there's nothing even about Amber boys for now. You see, when there's a goal, but you see the benefits coming from all angles, not only about helping our self-defense, or our volunteers. You see, now the number 5 point is the national treasury. This money has will help sustain the movement, because now all the counties and the LGAs have something they can start moving towards the goal, with the supervision of the interim government. The LGAs have monies, the counties have monies, as they are collecting, that's how so if they have a project, that is the weight of the revolution. That is the weight of the revolution, when there is that money for the national treasury. That is it, and there's no doubt that it will move everything forward. And number 6 point is induction and baptism. For the most part, leadership in the revolution was the exclusive focus of vicious campaign with ceaseless attacks against the few faces and voices in notable position, but by endearing county and LGA representatives to their various political constituencies, the Amber War Draft has knighted and commissioned a team of Ambazonian patriots at the helm of the authority. It's no longer about President Sako or Chris Ano, but a whole team of patriots serving their people and taking responsibility. Yes, true. Because I saw it myself. I was part of the team, resource and mobilization team, Amber War Draft team, all these are people that came together and worked together. Not only at the LGA level, but at the county level, where you had all the counties working together. It was very nice working group that, worked together during this period. Number 7, rekindling of hope. Very important. Hope in the revolution has always been perceived as a crying and dying political baby. With no biological parents, hope in the revolution was always a thing of the past. Diminishing on every tragedy, fading with each bad news, vanishing on every day of calm and normalcy, fainting with every betrayal, betraying and denying loss on daily, infighting. But for the entire duration of the Amber War Draft and even now, hope has laid claim to the future with a father in the name of President Sako. There was no hope. People were only thinking infighting. There was this betrayal, loss of daily, that's what was going on. But back when this draft was going on, now we have hope. People have hope that the thing is moving. You can see the calls coming from ground zero. People are calling. They say, "Well, thank you guys for supporting us. Yeah, we thank you and thank you for." That's what is going on. Number 8, visibility and viability. If the size of the ant was ever a curse or a disadvantage, or at that, it's because it makes it almost absent, not seen and far away from the curiosity of the eyes. Though a political elephant with claims to its domestic size of influence, the revolution was hardly seen and fell in medium of consequence. As a cure to this deficiency, the Amber War Draft gave the revolution an unmistakable presence at the heart of the international intelligence with a wave-like effect. Not only did the revolution take the stage, the county leadership and their commanders behind the management of body politics were also granted audience to redeem themselves. Never again shall this righteous child be hidden from the jealous faces of politics. Since the day of the Amber War Draft, the revolution is both visible and viable in outlook. True. Yes. Because you cannot tell me that with this political environment, this draft has not brought in visibility. Imagine what was going on during my trip to Boya thing, where you have just one treasurer, so just 2 people can take all the money. That's what was going on during the time. If Ayuktabe say take this money and the treasurer take, they both just sign. That's it. The money is gone. It's gone. But now it's different. It's different. Before even the counties can collect something or can carry out any execution, there will be that chain of command for signatures. Yes. So that's where you have that kind of visibility, Yes. That visibility. Panacea and an antidote against enemy propaganda. You see, no weapon disposed to the revolution has been more effective and decisive in dwarfing and thwarting French Cameroon political propaganda than the Amber War Draft. I'm telling you, this is the only thing that really has dwarfed and thwarted French Cameroon's political propaganda. This war draft. And you have seen where, having lobbied her colonial allies, all these imperialists and the French, government. All these people, they are working behind the scenes. Just, they were very, very terrified. They were very terrified having this war draft held successfully. You know. The number 10 point is a high political watermarks for the revolution to lay claim to any future outside the constitutional scope and authority of the French Commonwealth. It had to prove itself beyond doubt that it's capable of self-governing, self-sustenance, guaranteed prospect, and social cohesion as a political player of mutual respect. If there's any nearness to this expectation, the Amber War Draft is a benchmark of limitless potentials in the political survival logic. You see, that is how high political watermark, and that is true. Because if you see that this war draft gave the interim government that self-sustenance, guaranteed prospects. That's what they're talking here, self-governing. Because all along, La Republic was using this divide and rule and tell the international community that these people cannot live together. Look at what they're doing. Then they were comparing us to South Sudan. They say, look at these people. These people cannot live together. Forget about them. Number 11 point here is the order of self-defense. Nothing has elevated the morale, fighting spirit, and confidence of the restoration forces than the Amber War Draft. The prospect of being capable of good intelligence, weaponry upgrade, countering enemy lethal capabilities has never been delivered with much assurance than the Amber War Draft. You can see the motivation of these guys on the ground. You know, they have ready for their heavy weaponry upgraded. Yes. So that is a very good point. I like that point. The number 12 point, vindication, made my country to Boya a footnote of no political consequence. True. That's true. The Amber War Draft has made my trip to Boya a footnote of no political consequence. Because it was a failure. A failure. My trip was a failure in its part. Yes. Number 13 point is constituency project. Politics is a constituency-based project by rallying support from every constituency in Ambazonia. The Amber War Draft reached beyond the fabric of revolutionary foundation and political entertainment to produce an astonishing result of people's power. People's power. Good one. The people have never encountered and interacted with their history, geography, and culture in the most revolutionary appeals like that experience in the Amber War Draft. True. The people were looking for this kind of arena to get that kind of their history, interacted with their history together, you know, geography and culture. But this war draft gave that impetus for that, and it was very successful. The number 4 is a referendum. If ever the revolution was reduced to the discordant record of few moral voices, then Amber War Draft produced a concordance of political acclamation with a cornucopia of international endorsements. They claimed that the people had receded from the revolution, which formed the basis of political excuses by some UN agencies in their support of French Cameroon, was ridiculed by the mammoth proclamation of local support. Terrible local support. That's true. That was where we all hold dear that this, my trip to Boya was a big failure because of it lacked all this kind of, advantages and achievements. You know, it was just a loose project. You know, just loose, but people learned, from this kind of, and the war draft came to change everything, all the dynamics, and it was a huge success thanks to the interim government and the county heads, the LGA heads, and all the people that work so hard, you know. So it was a big thing, and I want to thank all those who work so hard for the success of the Amber War Draft, and we hope that people will keep, finish all their pledges so that the funds will be executed as arranged. And we thank you, and keep putting your effort, keep putting your force, because this thing is almost getting to the finish line, and we have to work together to make sure that we see the end of this. Thank you very much. This is Fritz Misodi.